Hey everybody, welcome into Faith and Football. My name is Neil, and I'm recording this a little early in the week. Um, Look, we just had week 12. The first apocalypse has been and gone. Some of us came through not so well. Um, yes, I had Saquon. Yes, I enjoyed that 52-point production that we got from him last night. And if you were riding Saquon into the playoffs, God bless you. You were smart enough to listen to me and draft him in the process because I seriously doubt you were able to pry him away from anybody who drafted him. Um, some of you have faced people who were having a lot of bye week players. You were able to take advantage of that and you made better positioning for the playoffs. Great. Congratulations, guys. Look, I want you all to do me a favor. Down below, when you subscribe, like, share, I want you to drop me a comment. Let me know how this season is working out for you. I myself am deep in the thick of it for the playoff hunt. On the plus side, so God's been good. He's been guiding, he's been directing. I haven't always listened, which is kind of representative of life. There's times when we don't listen. There's times when we don't hear him. There's times when we hear him and we don't listen. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. And guys, this is faith and football. So we're always talking faith first and putting our faith first in God, not just in fantasy football, but I want you guys to move past that. We're week 12, fixing going to week 13. This is big weekend for sports, big weekend for football with Thanksgiving. And don't forget, we will be talking more about it in the next episode. But I want to hear what you guys got for planned for Thanksgiving. So down below, hit me up and let me know. Um, but yeah, I want to talk about, our priorities and when the pressure's on, what really matters. Like, there's a phrase that we've used, a pew pew to the head, you know, what are you gonna do? Like if somebody's got you under duress, if you are faced with a difficult decision, what are you choosing? And we use that sometimes in kind of a very flippant way, but I want you guys to really think about what are your priorities? What in your life is so important that it trumps everything else? Is it what God wants your priorities to be, or is it what we want our priorities to be? And sometimes we have a struggle with that. We have a fight with that. Um, we here in this house, we just had a heated debate with a cousin of mine who is formerly was with Hollywood. Um, he worked in that area, and he decided to comment on a post that my wife had put out where she was agreeing with a take on this new movie, Red One. Um, for those of you who don't know, Red One is considered a Christmas movie with The Rock and Chris Evans. Now, typically, I love The Rock. Look, I'm a diehard University of Miami Canes fan. So I remember Dwayne Johnson when he was a linebacker for the Hurricanes before he became The Rock. Um, but there was some debate on whether or not this was a movie that was suitable for children to be at, especially those who are growing up in a Christian household. And the reason being is because there's a character in there that is demonic. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's just straight demonic. He's half demon, half goat. Um, he takes gifts and things, and he's supposed to be the anti-Santa and things like that. So that aimed at children is kind of making light of the fact that demons do exist. And here's the thing is that whatever your belief is as far as angels and demons and the existence of both and things like that, is that you can't have one without the other. You can't say that you believe in God, but not the devil. You can't say that the devil is real and the demons are real, but I'm not so sure about God, or I'm not so sure about angels. You can't have one without the other. They go together. Okay. Um, so there was some debate on, what the take was, um, from a Christian standpoint. Should Christians go see this movie? Should they be aware that this is in this movie? I mean, it's not really advertised as that, and we're going to expose our children to this. So there was a little debate back and forth, but it reminded me of a verse that it's in First Peter chapter 3, verse 15. And I'm gonna down below in the description, I'm going to tag Transformation Church. And if you guys don't listen to Transformation Church yet, please do so. They're currently doing a series called "Show Me the Receipts," and it's about having, like when you go to the store and you buy something, you have a receipt to prove that you have it. And spiritually speaking, the fruit of the Holy Spirit is a receipt to show that you have that fruit. You have to show that you've got that in your life. And I'm not going to run through the all of the gifts of the Holy Spirit right now, but gentleness and understanding and patience and stuff like that. I encourage you to go listen to this series, where they're actually right in the middle of it. So if you go catch them, it's an awesome time. Um, but what I wanted to bring up is, the players that we hold on to in fantasy. We value those more than others, and we'll hold on to them through the good and the bad, through the injuries, through the dips in production, and things like that. And it's very similar to the attitudes that we have when we come to Christ. There was stuff that happened to me before I began my walk with God, the walk that I'm on now, not the one that I started when I was 12 years old, because I deviated extremely from that walk. I wasn't in a walk with God. I was walking in the world. I was walking to the beat of my own, what I thought was my own drum, but it's actually Satan's drum. And I was just dancing along to the beat. And the thing is that the same way that we hold on to those players, we hold on to those old attitudes because we haven't given those up. We haven't, it's kind of like when you hold a player and he's out, he's injured, you know, he's gonna you think he might get better, but then he's out for the season. So you need to move on from that. Well, when you accept Christ, you need to take those old attitudes and move them out so you can move in new attitudes. And one of the things that it says in First Peter chapter 3, verse 15, it says, "But in your hearts revere Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have." And I want you to go real quick to Psalms 119, verse 11. Um, it reads, I have hidden your words in my heart that I might not sin against you. So, when we read that we need to put in our hearts a reverence for Christ as our Lord and be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks of why we have hope, it needs to be in us. We need to have that ammunition. I mean, you wouldn't walk into battle with an empty gun or, a hammer. You're going to walk in with the proper ammunition. Okay. You're going to walk in knowing that you're prepared to do battle. So when we walk out in this world and we have people stop us and go, if they know us and they know we're Christian because we've told them, we've, had conversations with them, if they question us, we need to be able to respond. But, and this is the end of the verse in First Peter, but do this with gentleness and respect. See, here's the thing. When people question us, when people question, why we do what we do and why we believe what we believe, we take it personally and we take it aggressively sometimes, and we don't need to. They don't have to answer for us, and we don't have to answer for them. At the end, every man will be called to answer for their own sins, their own reasonings, their own, actions. So when someone questions us, we just answer calmly, respectfully. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to agree with you, and people are going to want to argue. People are going to want to try to call you out on stuff. And look, there are times when maybe the person you're arguing with is smarter than you. They're more well-versed than you are. They may even know the Bible better than you do. At that time, you can just look at them and go, you know what? Let me get back to you on that. Let me read a little more and get a little more in depth on that, and I'll get back to you. How about that? Now, if someone really wants to acquire some knowledge about why you believe what you believe, rather than just question you to have an argument, then they're going to be like, okay, sure, cool, no problem. But we live in a world where we have keyboard warriors and we have people who just want to jump into a comment of someone that they don't know and just fire off shots at them. Maybe that person's hurting. Maybe that person has been hurt. Maybe that person is going through something that they themselves can't explain. So rather than deal with it or find answers to it, it's just easier for them to deflect and say, hey, you got problems. Let's talk about your problems. So as we walk through this week 13 injury report, and it's going to be a little light this week, just for the simple fact that, as I said, this is early and injury reports aren't going to come out until Tuesday morning. But I'm doing this Monday night, saying about anything that happens on Monday Night Football between the Ravens and the Chargers and the Harbaugh won't be on until Thursday's episode, which I'll record on Wednesday for you guys. But I want you guys to remember that, as it says in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15, remember, we hide this in our hearts. Psalms 119:11, hide the word in your heart. So if we have that in our heart, then we can answer that question when we are posed to it. And people aren't necessarily going to come out and say, hey, why do you believe this? Or why do you believe that? Or why are you a Christian? They just might see you taking a stand or take an action on a certain topic and question you then. That's a door for you guys. That's a window of opportunity that you need to go through. Go, well, let me tell you. and that's when you can share your faith. Use it as a window. Don't use it as an opportunity to slam back at them or to criticize their beliefs, because that's not on us. That's not on us to judge someone else. Okay. It's up to us to lead others to Christ. So remember that as you're going around your day, as you're going around your holiday shopping. We're about to get into Black Friday. It's going to be hectic out there. I want you guys to keep that gentleness, that loving, that respect in mind, because not everybody's going to do it. Not everybody's gonna react to you in a respectful, loving way, especially around the holidays. I know it sounds crazy to say, but y'all know it's true. So, but be different, be the Christ that people see. Because remember, as I've said before, and I'll give credit where credit is due. This I hear from Jesse Duplantis all the time, is that sometimes the only Jesus that people see is the Jesus in you and me. So be that Jesus for the people who don't go to church or who don't see Christ in their everyday walk. So keep that in mind as you go around and go through your holidays. And happy Thanksgiving for you guys, by the way. Speaking of Thanksgiving, and you guys know, listen, Zia Rotisserie Bar will be closed on Thanksgiving. So make sure that if you need some of those world famous grits for your holiday table, that you get that order in right now. Give them a call, 337-406-0013, or go down to 235 Duce Road in Lafayette, Louisiana, right off of Johnson Street, and go pick you up some. Look, they have grits galore. They have rotisserie chicken, rotisserie ribeyes. We got some green beans down there if you guys need some green beans for your table as well. We will be there until 9 o'clock Wednesday night, and then shut down until Black Friday at 11 o'clock. So if you guys are out in the area, you're shopping in Lafayette, and you need a break, you need a place to go for lunch, go down to 235 Duce Road in Lafayette and swing by Zia Rotisserie Bar. And while you're there, show them that you listen to this channel, show them proof of the subscription, and you can get for the table one free appetizer on me from them for you. Whatever you want. If you want the hummus, catch the hummus. Look, this is outrageously delicious. My wife loves it. She has not tired of it in the entire time that I've been associated with Zia. Also, if you want some seafood, they got you covered there too. The Asian almond shrimp comes in 3 or 6 count. So, depends upon how many people you got. Now, if you want to take the ribs out for a spin, maybe you've never had them before. Maybe you've never had the Thai ribs that are just off the chain down at Zia. You can get those for your appetizer as well, either 4 or 6 bone variety, and give that a whirl before you dive into the 8 or the 12 for your entree. But go down there, check them out, and look, I've said it for the last few weeks, and I'll keep saying it until it's over. The holiday season is literally right around the corner. It is upon us, and holiday parties are happening. Christmas parties, office parties are happening. So if you need a place to hold yours, hey, I can speak from experience because we held our draft in the VIP back room at Zia. It is an awesome location. Get privacy, get a big screen TV. They'll put up a little fireplace thing for you. It is absolutely outrageous. Go down there and check them out. You want them to bring the food to you? Cool, no problem. Give them a call, 337-406-0013, and talk to Andy, and he will help you with all of your catering needs for whatever size party you got. Make sure you check them out, and make sure that you let them know that you heard about them from this channel. Okay. So we had a very wild weekend. Yes, we lost to Dallas, and yes, I'm a little upset about it, but we're moving on. So, go Giants. We are all about Big Blue this weekend because that's who's facing the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. Now, the Thanksgiving Day games are as follows. It is the Bears versus the Lions is your first game. followed by the Giants and the Cowboys. And then the nightcap is Dolphins, Packers to finish it off. So going into that, I do want to make sure that you guys are aware of the second apocalypse that's coming in week 14. Week 14, we're going to have the Colts, Washington, the Patriots, Denver, the Texans, and the Ravens all out on bye. Now, that's quite a bit of talent that is out. However, it is coming, it's coming probably like a week late for Washington because both of the running backs got hurt in the game against Dallas. Brian Robinson Jr., the running back for Washington, is dealing with an ankle injury. And if you guys saw it on a kick return that Austin Eckler was doing, he suffered a concussion. He was out for the rest of the game. So keep an eye on those two for week 13. Now, here's the thing, is that if you are in need of some running back help for week 13, which there are no buys for this week. So 0 buys for this week. So we're all good to go on all teams this week. But maybe you're missing Brian Robinson Jr. or you're missing Austin Eckler and you want to, or you need to, for whatever reason, plug someone into that running back spot. Jeremy McNichols is the name to know for Washington. That is the next man up for the Washington backfield. So we haven't had waivers run yet. Waivers will run on Wednesday morning. They run really early in my league of record, 2 a.m. So make sure that you're getting those waiver wire requests in now and take a look ahead at the matchups for week 14. I'm going to go through like the top and the bottom 5 for you guys on this show here in just a second. I do want to touch on a couple other injuries that we had. Romeo Doubs, wide receiver for the Packers, is dealing with concussion. I will tell you right now, I don't expect for him to play on Thursday because, and it just ain't going to happen. He's not going to be through the concussion protocol in that short of a time span. So if for whatever reason Devontae Wicks is on your waiver wire, go pick him up if you need that help at wide receiver, because this probably will end up in a shootout. Okay. If anybody saw what the Dolphins were doing this past week, and if you saw what the Packers were doing, guys, this is shaping up for a pretty good fantasy output for Thanksgiving Day. Unless, of course, you are the Tyreek manager and then you're dealing with a wrist injury for him that's kind of annoying because Tyreek, it's late in the year. You know, you can't take him out of your lineup because he might pop. So what do? You just got to plug him in and do a little more praying. So, but right now we're going to go through the top 5 best matchups at each position for this coming week. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll do the top 3 because top 5 and bottom 5 be a little long. Top 5 matchups for quarterbacks this week coming is Houston versus Jacksonville. Look, anybody who's seen the Jacksonville defense loves facing the Jacksonville defense, whether you're a wide receiver, quarterback, running back, doesn't matter. These guys horrible. Matter of fact, I think they're trying to secretly trying to get the best pick or the number 1 pick in this draft, but I'm not sure if they're going to beat out the Giants, but you never know. And then you've got Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Yes, that's the number 2 matchup. Bryce Young did a little something this past week, so maybe Dave Canales can do something with him for the remainder of the season. But for this week, if you're hurting a quarterback and you need to plug somebody in, I don't know if I'm going to give 100% um, to Bryce Young and the Panthers going up against Tampa Bay. But if you're in a tough position, I understand. Now, the third worst or best matchup for quarterback this week is none other than my boy Jalen Hurts. And I know with me wearing this shirt and having this behind me saying my boy Jalen Hurts, I'm only saying that because he's on my fantasy team. But Jalen Hurts for this week, and I'll give you guys a little preview. Next week is Carolina, and then followed up in this is why I'm trying to really, really hard to get a bye, is he faces Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs. So week 15 does not look good for Jalen Hurts. Um, look, I know that Saquon has just been going ballistic and they haven't been throwing a whole lot, but he's facing Baltimore. Now, anybody who knows fantasy football knows that the pass funnel for this year is Baltimore. Wait until Justin Herbert's numbers come up. I'm not gonna. I tell you what, I'll almost guarantee that Justin Herbert can get over 20 points this week. Okay, against Baltimore. Um, so next episode we'll see how I did on that guarantee. But yeah, so CJ Stroud with Houston going up against Jacksonville, Bryce Young going up against Tampa Bay, and the Eagles going up and Jalen Hurts going up against Baltimore. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and I'll do you guys a couple, but I'll go ahead and give you the top five because the top five is um, same game with Carolina. Just opposite side of the ball is Baker Mayfield going up against Carolina. And then number five is, yes, my 2 week in a row start of the week that did not pan out. Russell Wilson and Pittsburgh Steelers going up against Cincinnati. You guys, the game's going to be in Cincinnati. Whether it's in Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, it really doesn't matter because we're getting in the time of year where you really need to pay attention to the weather report. Yes, this is another layer of fantasy football. You need to step up because at this time of year, weather plays a part in the production of your team. So make sure that if you have a start sit decision to make, that you're making that with the knowledge of what the weather's going to be, whether that's rainy, snowy, cold, windy, whatever the case may be, make sure that you're getting that knowledge. Okay. So that was the top five for quarterback, running back. Tampa Bay versus Carolina. So Rachaad White, Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving just went ballistic this week. So if you got Bucky Irving, hold on to him. He is definitely somebody that if for whatever reason, like in my league of record, week 14's the cutoff for trades. If you're going to trade for somebody, I don't know, I'd probably take a shot at Bucky Irving, because his end of season matchup outside of the Chargers in week 15, week 16 is Dallas, and week 17 is Carolina. So, guys, that's just outrageously good end of season schedule for anybody who has either of the running backs that are absolutely going to run ballistic all over the place for Tampa Bay. Now, Houston, right before the bye, again, gets Jacksonville. So I said it, talking about quarterback, I'll say it now. Anybody, running back, wide receiver, whoever, if you have Joe Mixon, great, congratulations. You're going to have an awesome day. If you're facing Joe Mixon, down below, just write in the comments, prayer list. Okay. And I'll start praying for you now because you're probably going to do bad. Just saying. Number three, the San Francisco 49ers going up against Buffalo. It's in Buffalo. Now, cold weather does lend itself to having a better running back production than wide receiver. So hopefully Christian McCaffrey can get back on track against Buffalo, maybe in the snow. We don't know yet. About to find out. Number four, Kyron Williams is going up against the Saints in New Orleans. So it's a dome. You don't have to worry about the weather. Um, and judging from what I saw on Sunday night against Philly, um, I don't know about you guys, but Kyron just looked a little off. So if you are the Kyron Williams manager and you don't have Blake Corum on your roster, I would strongly suggest that you go do so. If you are going to be facing the Kyron Williams manager or you're headed for the playoffs, I would definitely have Kyron Williams in my roster now. Not my starting lineup, but if something happens to Kyron or if something is wrong with Kyron and we're not aware of it, you need that insurance back. And this is the time when you guys need to be paying attention to the waiver wire. You need to be playing the offense, not defense. This is where I say that we play chess, not checkers. Um, look ahead to week 14. If you're fighting for a playoff spot and you see that your opponent is going to be missing people and there's somebody on the waiver wire that they could pick up and play against you, pick them up, get them away from them, and stick them on your roster. You can drop them week 15. That's fine. You can drop them as soon as the games start. They can't use them after that. So do what you got to do to get into the playoffs and play offense. Don't play defense. Don't wait till the last minute and be like, oh man, I need to get this guy. So and so is, I'm facing so and so, and they could really use this, and their guys on a bye, and they need help. You need help. You're trying to get in the playoffs. Don't sacrifice your spot for somebody else. Okay. If you need help in it, down below, hit me up. Let me know what your dilemma is. Now, you guys know what's coming. I've been talking about this all day, and I will show you guys a pie from Keller's Bakery. When I get it, it is delicious. It is a lemon meringue and pecan pie from Keller's Bakery, my sweetest sponsor. They're at 627 Lafayette Street in Youngsville, Louisiana. Make sure that you're going down to the Youngsville location, not the one downtown, because they don't honor my special down there. But you show them that you subscribe to this channel, and you can get 2 free cookies. But look, you're not going to just get 2 free cookies. It's way too close to Thanksgiving. And the holidays, hey, they're upon us. Okay. Christmas parties, you got to bring something. Look, let somebody else do the cooking, whether it's Zia or whether it's Keller's Bakery, and you bring the sweet, they will absolutely make you the star of the party if you show up with the Keller's pie down there, wherever you're going. Go down there and check them out. 627 Lafayette Street, Youngsville, Louisiana. And they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 6 a.m. until 3 p.m. Now, they're not open on Thursday, Thanksgiving, of course, but any other time of the week, yeah, they're there. So, talked about Joe Mixon, talked about Kyron and the Rams. They're number 4. San Fran and McCaffrey are number 3. Number 5, the New York Giants are facing the Dallas Cowboys, and Dallas Cowboys have the 5th best matchup. So I've been beating the drum for this guy ever since preseason. Rico Dowdle. If you have Rico Dowdle, please keep him in your lineup, okay? At least until next week, or I'm sorry, week 14. Week 14, he's going up against Cincinnati, and I'm not really sure you're going to want him then. But the following week, the first round of the playoffs, he gets Carolina, which is the dead last matchup in fantasy football. They're the best team to be facing with a running back. So, Rico Dowdle, 5th best matchup for this week, week 13. Wide receiver, What more can I ask for? I got Jalen Hurts going up against Baltimore, the pass funnel, who is also the best matchup to have if you have a wide receiver. Devontae Smith has been out. He's dealing with a lower leg injury. We're not really sure. I think it's a hamstring, if I'm not mistaken. I'll do a little rundown of the major guys on the next episode once the injury report comes out. Um, Next up, week 13, Jacksonville. So if you got Tank Dell, I know Tank Dell has not been doing well, but if you've got him, yeah, you can play him against Jacksonville. You can definitely play Nico Collins. So those two you're gonna want to have in your lineup regardless. They're the second best matchup. Next up, and I'm hoping that this is a get right game for Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. The third best matchup, Minnesota. The Cardinals go to face Minnesota in Minnesota, so no worries about weather because it's in a dome. But Marvin Harrison Jr., hopefully, this is a get right game for him. Him and Kyler get on the same page, and we get more than 12 points out of them. That would be awesome. Um, Fourth best matchup is the Denver Broncos and sensational rookie Bo Nix, who has come out of nowhere, facing Cleveland. Now, this game is going to be in Denver at Mile High, so you definitely want to check the weather report on this one. So, Cortland Sutton is definitely in play. Anybody else with Denver, you please check the weather and see what's going on before you go ahead and plug them in over somebody else who's having a better matchup, like uh, Quentin Johnson with the Chargers, who gets to face Atlanta in Atlanta. So once again, a dome game, no worries about weather. And Lad McConkey. Now, if you guys haven't been watching, they've kind of let Justin Herbert throw a lot more than what everyone anticipated in the beginning of the season. So Lad McConkey is in play. Quentin Johnson is in play. You guys definitely want to get these guys in against Atlanta. If this, as long as this is not a primetime game, Kirk Cousins should be well, just for the simple fact that he does well in non-prime time games. Don't ask me why, but we spent a whole uh, year or two remembering or trying to figure out why in the world Kirk Cousins can't perform on Monday night or Sunday night or game of the week or things like that. Don't know. Still don't know. But I do know that this guy's a top 12 quarterback. And with that, you're going to have the scoring going up. So the Chargers are going to have to keep up, which means that their wide receivers are going to do better. So Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnson in your lineup. Don't forget about him. That's the top five. So tight end, I'll give you a couple. No big surprises here. Tampa Bay versus Carolina, so Cade Otton is in play. Now the Russian roulette that they've been playing of Noah Gray or Travis Kelce. Look, both of these guys could pop off because they're facing um, the Raiders in KC. So again, check the weather report. Next up, number three, I'll just give you guys the top three because it's New England versus Indy. So Hunter Henry, very possibly on your waiver wire. So if you need help at a tight end, go check them out. And remember that the Patriots and Houston are on buys week 14. So remember, guys, bye week for week 14. There's nobody on bye this week. I'm going to be talking about this. So you guys remember Colts, Washington, New England, Denver, Houston, and Baltimore, all on buys week 14. So make the adjustments. If you need help down below, hit me up and let me know what you're struggling with in week 14 and what your options are to pick up players to kind of cushion the blow and hopefully get you guys into a playoff berth for week 15. So remember, guys, the holidays can get crazy, they can get stressful, but it's okay. God is with us. Remember, it's cliche to say he's the reason for the season, and we got to walk in it, guys. So make sure that you're walking in love, that you're walking in understanding, that you're walking in gentleness as you deal with servers when you go out to eat, those sales clerks when you go to holiday shopping. They're just like you are. They're as stressed as you are, maybe on a different level, but they're still stressed. They still deserve your love and your understanding. Just the way that God gives it to us, we need to give it to others. So, till next time, you guys enjoy the Monday night game. It's already happened if you're watching this. So, we'll see what happens. And I will talk to you guys Thursday after recording on Wednesday for y'all. So, until then, you guys have a blessed holiday season, blessed Christmas, blessed Thanksgiving. And I want you guys to just remember football's great or good, but God is greater. We'll see you guys next time on Faith and Football. Take care.